Now, it's time for Tensions Running High, a Penrith Panthers podcast presented by the Western Weekender. Thanks to Penrith Toyota, here's Troy Dodds and Nathan Taylor.
Hello everyone and welcome to Tensions Running High, a Penrith Panthers podcast presented by the Western Weekender. This is episode 40, and big thanks to our sponsor Penrith Toyota. The highest quality on new and used cars. Visit penrithtoyota.com.au. I'm Troy Dodds and I'm joined by Nathan Taylor. Hello Nathan.
Hello Troy.
On this podcast we talk everything Penrith Panthers, and we are well placed to do it. For more than 30 years the Weekender has bled Penrith, and we've been there for all 6 premierships and the odd wooden spoon as well. On the agenda today, Nathan and I are put to the test with some Panthers trivia. We open some trading cards from the past, chat about Origin 3, and of course relive that incredible win by Penrith over the Bulldogs last weekend. Let's kick things off. Yes, we're going to be tested by fellow Panthers fan and journalist Emily Chait. She's going to come in. She's got 10 questions for both of us. I'm going to go into the soundproof booth while you answer the questions, and then we'll see how many you get right. And I'm a bit worried, actually, despite being a bit of a Panthers oracle. I'm not too confident in the trivia because the questions could be anything.
That's right. You don't know what to research, what to study for throughout the week. She's been teasing these questions since the other day that she wrote them up, and I'm looking forward to seeing how we go later.
Yes, look, hopefully. I'm hoping I win. What did we bet again? I can't remember.
I think it was a 6-pack.
6-pack, okay.
Yep.
So a 6-pack of someone's choosing.
Yep, whatever you like.
Whatever you like. Look at the top shelf there somewhere, I reckon, surely. All right, let's go back. It feels like a long time ago now, but the game that everyone was talking about last weekend was the Penrith Bulldogs game on Thursday night. Definitely the game of the season, no doubt about that. And geez, what a performance by the Panthers. Yeah,
it was outstanding, Troy. Just being there in the crowd, watching that one. Obviously, it wasn't a massive crowd last Thursday night. I think it was about 16,000. I'd say mostly were Bulldogs fans, but certainly when Penrith started to score and it started to edge in front, you could hear them at the full-time siren as well. It was an outstanding win, and I likened it. I know this might be stupid to say, but likened it to a grand final win in some ways. Just the euphoria you felt after beating that team. Of course, Penrith has lots of history with the Bulldogs, especially in the last few seasons, and just knowing that we managed to beat them, it was such a good feeling. Definitely
a finals intensity game, and in fact, a poor weekend for the Dogs across the board. Penrith
lost
thrashed
every
them
grade.
In the New South Wales Cup, and also in the Jersey Flegg. So it was just sort of a, hey, you're coming for everyone in the NRL, but just don't forget about us moment. And in fact, I saw a lot of videos afterwards that was people starting to get a bit worried, non-Panthers fans, of course, that this was going to be another, after everything, this is going to be another Penrith-Melbourne grand final. We're probably a bit ahead of ourselves there. Yeah. But what we do know is that Penrith have got themselves back into the 8 pretty firmly now and in control of their own destiny. It was a game full of highlight moments, of course. The Nathan Cleary charge down. Tell you what, I thought the Dogs were going to score there in that last play. Yeah. And of course, the decision by the Dogs not to go for the sideline conversion that could have levelled the game. All sorts of things that unfolded during the game.
Oh, yeah, there's some crucial moments for sure. I mean, Penrith had their chances to score as well many times. I think Blaze Tulungi got over the line and just couldn't put the ball down, and there was a few other moments like that throughout the contest. But yeah, that final play where the Bulldogs were going for that corner there, I was shocked that they didn't score, because you can see that a million times over, them somehow like Crichton passing the ball and them scoring it. I don't know how they didn't. But the biggest thing was they should have took that 2 with a few minutes to go with that silly Brian To'o penalty, which in the end didn't even get penalised by the match review committee. But that they should have took the 2. I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, well, obviously the theory was that they didn't have the kicker to get the distance from the.
You just go for it anyway. Crichton or Burton are both pretty good kickers.
I guess you look at it. I guess hindsight's 20/20, but they're going for the win there. Instead of saying, well, let's send this to Golden Point. They're literally going for the win. So I guess if they end up pulling it off, everyone's praising Cameron Ciraldo and saying, oh, what a brave call to go for the win. So, depends how you look at it. Of course, a big game for Casey McLean. He really had Stephen Crichton's measure as well. So, dropped at some point during this season. Casey now is starting to emerge as a real talent. He's come into his own in the last few weeks in particular.
Yeah, he was certainly one of Penrith's best players on Thursday night. The way he stood up to Stephen Crichton, who obviously had that position before Casey did, and is world class Origin centre, and we all know how good Stephen Crichton is, but he just didn't give him an inch, Casey McLean, and he was just so impressive. I think he's still 19. This is really his first full season in first grade, and he's finally starting to catch on, and I think that'll give him heaps of confidence when he comes back from the break next week against Parramatta, that position's now his, and I think he'll even get even better as the year draws on.
You mentioned the crowd there, a little bit disappointing. I thought that we didn't have more than 20,000 there. I know it was a Thursday night. This was a big game.
It's hard to get Penrith fans to that stadium at the best of times, let alone on a Thursday night. It was you could hear the Dogs fans, couldn't you, whenever they had the ball.
Yeah.
The chants on either side in the general admission areas, they were chanting Bulldogs. It was crazy, but as I said, the Penrith fans, they certainly got loud once we got in front, but that's just how it is. That was at Penrith Stadium. It's a sellout, 22,000 sold out.
Of course, the other thing, of course, that we've talked about all year is getting home. It was actually my best experience getting home so far.
Well, yeah, but you did get there nice and early, don't forget.
Look, I did get there.
So you would have got a prime spot, I reckon.
I did get there early, but I still had to park on level 4
Parramatta
Leagues Club.
Okay, that is actually quite high.
In fact, I parked next to Pete Green, who didn't come on a bus. He literally parked there in the car.
The physio?
The physio, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yep.
How did you know it was Pete Green's car?
He literally got out at the same time I got there. I got there reasonably early, about 5:45.
Yeah.
And Pete was rocking up.
There you go. He must have had somewhere else to be beforehand, and he makes his own way to the game.
He certainly did. And he had to, I don't know if he's a member of the Leagues Club to make sure he got the tickets, the discount.
So what did you pay?
$15 you pay if you're a Parramatta Leagues member.
Okay.
I think that's 3 hours before the game. I think that they start charging.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it is free. So if you want to go there early, weirdly, I went to a bar beforehand. They had some sort of marching band.
Oh yeah, in Parramatta, in the Leagues Club.
In the Leagues Club, yes, very very odd.
Were they part of the procession for the game? Or?
No. Well, they were in blue and gold.
They were just there for the.
They were just there.
Just love rugby league.
Very weird, but no. Look, at the end, a little bit hard to get from level 4 to 3, but then it was smooth sailing. So I was home. That was the quickest.
So what time did you pull in your driveway?
So what time did the game finish?
Because I know exactly when I got into mine.
I reckon it was about 10:55.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm going.
Okay. Well, I actually beat you, Troy.
What?
Yep.
Via the train?
No. So I'll tell you what happened with me. I got the train in, and then my wife was coming with me to the game, so she ended up parking. She was somewhere else for work that day, so she ended up parking at the Westfield, and then we walked back together to the Westfield and jumped in her car. And we were back in Penrith at about 10:33 in the driveway.
Wow, that's very impressive.
It was impressive, yeah. It's not a bad hack, the Westfield one. We did have to pay because she was over the 4 hours.
Yep.
So we had to pay $15 as well for that extra hour that we were over.
Yeah.
So similar price, but you just beat all that getting stuck in that traffic.
One of the great rorts, Westfield parking or any shopping centre parking. Like you are paying to go shopping in their facility.
Yeah.
Like, well,
I guess they try
any purchase should be free.
Yeah, well, I guess they try and combat that with commuter parking and stuff. They don't want all the
Yeah, okay. Well, so you got to make a purchase of.
Just make a packet of chips.
Yeah. Why not? All right. Well, big game. Panthers 8, Bulldogs 6, and a game that's got everyone talking about Penrith's credentials. Now that flows us into this weekend. The Panthers have the bye. This is Penrith's final bye.
Far out.
Third and final bye, and then it is on for the run home.
No more breaks. Even if you finish in the outside the top 4, you're going through right to the grand final. There's no week off.
Well, Cooper Cronk on Fox League during the week said that Penrith cannot do that.
Yeah.
He was adamant that these Origin players in particular are going to need to rest in this last period. Now, whether that's straight away in that Parramatta game or not, or a little bit later. But surely Ivan Cleary has a plan there. But look, the next 5 weeks are going to be telling, really, because I think Penrith have a pretty soft run. If they win 4 or 5 of those games, then we are talking top 4 and another serious assault on the premiership. Yeah,
top 4 is definitely in play. It's hard to believe, like a few weeks ago, we still weren't sure whether Penrith were going to make the 8. Now I'm confident that they can, and I'm actually thinking top 4, especially with the Warriors' dramas, with all their injuries that eventuated over the weekend. They're looking a bit shaky the old Warriors. I think, Canberra, Canterbury, Melbourne, they're pretty much in. But it's the Warriors that I think that spot's up for grabs at the moment. And it's Penrith can take it, Brisbane can take it, the Roosters could take it. Be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting little period. And, we're going to see, I guess, some of these teams that... is it a false dawn for a team like Canberra for the Bulldogs? We're going to see that over the next 10 weeks. This is a big.
And we play both
period.
teams as well in that period, and Melbourne, of course. So
we do.
Those games are even more special.
We do. Look, there's a period where Penrith go through a soft run and then a tough run,
Yeah.
and then finish a little bit softer down in Wollongong against the Dragons. That's a game that we could be fighting for a top 4 position or a top 8 position if things haven't gone so well. So we'll see what happens there. Now, Nathan, one thing I am excited to let you know about is a special event happening at Great Western Kia. They're hosting the exclusive launch night of the all-new Kia Tasman. This is Kia's first ever ute, built tough for Australian conditions, and they'll be unveiling 4 unique models at their state-of-the-art Kingswood showroom. It's all happening this Thursday, the 3rd of July, from 6 till 8, and there'll be live music, food, drink, and of course, the chance to get up close and personal with the Tasman before anyone else. Even if you're not in the market, but you should go down there. But if you are in the market, then really you got to go check this out. See what Kia has brought to the table. This is a night you won't want to miss. RSVPs are closing soon, so don't leave it too late. Visit greatwesternkia.com.au to secure your spot. Now, I know you're going, Nathan.
I'm heading along. If anyone wants to get photos, then you feel free. Not with me, with the Tasman.
or with you, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But go check that out. That's the big launch on Thursday night. Now, last week, Nathan, we had a bit of a competition. We were giving away one of the last bottles of Weekender Spiced Rum, our 4-peat spiced rum, and we asked about a big trivia question about Ryan Girdler. So big news. Congratulations to the winner, Michael Basara. 101 tries for Ryan Girdler. So congratulations to Michael. We're going to get
Congrats,
the rum out
Michael.
Cheers to you, Michael.
Cheers. I haven't had a drink of it yet, so feel free to invite me around to your bar.
We'll get the rum out to you. We'll get the rum out to you soon. All right, now Nathan, what have we got here? We've got some old trading cards from the past. Now we've got 3 packets. I've managed to track down 3 packets from the past. What have we got, Nate? We've got a
1992 Rugby League set of trading cards, 7 in that one. We've got a 1995 set of trading cards. We've got 7 in that one, and a big whopping 9-card pack from 1996. All presumed. Where'd you get these from? eBay, or did you have these from a kid?
No, I tracked them down on eBay. They are sealed, never opened. So in the case of the 92 one, what's that? 30 something years. Yep. 33 years. And then we've got the 30th anniversary for the 1995 pack. So, all right, we're going to open them. So, we're going to open them for the first time. What do you want to open, Nathan?
Actually, I want to open 95 because I mentioned to you off air that I actually have this entire series at home. Rugby
League was flying in 1995. So, describe the packet to us, Nathan, for those not watching.
Look, it's an orangey sort of coloured packet.
Yes.
Looks like it's a image of a player on the front. I can't quite make out who it is. Can you?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Not sure who that is. It's like a hybrid player. I'll show the camera because you can actually watch this after the podcast. We'll pop something up online of us opening the packets. So there's 220 cards in this series and 7 in this packet.
It's not Bradley Clyde. Yeah, I don't know.
It does have a little... the Raiders won the grand final the year prior, so it's possible they could have used Bradley Clyde or a Canberra player on there.
I haven't researched that. I've been focusing purely on Penrith Panthers trivia for our upcoming...
All right, here we go.
You've opened it. What's any good smell to it or anything like that?
No, just smells like cardboard.
Okay.
Nothing special here.
Now, this is Series 1,
this
1995.
Has been sealed for 30 years.
All right, and we're going to see what we've got.
All right, so the first card we have off the top, Cronulla Sharks, Mitch Healey from the Cronulla Sharks. Rookie year was 1989. He played 5/8 for the Sharkies. It's Mitch Healey, not a bad one.
Yep, that'll be worth plenty.
Huge one from the big bad Brisbane Broncos, Troy. Glenn Lazarus.
Oh, that's a good one.
From the Brisbane Broncos. A huge star for the Broncos and for many clubs, actually, back in the day. Glenn Lazarus. Former politician as well.
Yes.
Palmer United Party.
Yep.
Oh, here's a good one. This is a Panther, Troy.
Oh, good.
I'm going to test you. All right.
Okay.
Famous Panthers winger from 1995.
Yep.
He was quite well known. Many tries he scored, this fella.
From 95.
Yep.
Oh, gee. Yeah. I don't know. Who's on the wing in 95?
Great Robbie Boom Boom Beckett.
Oh, Robbie Beckett, of course. Oh, you bet.
Made his debut the year prior in '94, and
Yeah.
played many games for Penrith and scored many tries.
He did.
That's a classic. Might get him to sign that if we can track him down.
Yeah, he's around. He's on Facebook.
Looks like we have like a Legends
Good.
Legends
This is what we were
card,
after. We were after this.
from South Sydney. Is this fella here? He's a I think it's just a South Sydney card. It's not actually a player.
Oh, that's
So,
like a South Sydney
Super Stats.
Super Stats, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oldest surviving member of the Australian Rugby League Premiership competition, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Founded in 1908. That's a really cool one
Yep.
if you're a Souths fan.
Just a few years before they were booted out.
This one's a good one. Illawarra Steelers. Aussie John Simon.
There you go.
Obviously he was the
Yep.
Aussie Home Loans guy, but he also played rugby league too. Aussie
Yes.
John
Yep.
Simon. Another Panther. This is a Panther we mentioned last week, Troy.
Is it?
Also a fellow winger.
Winger?
Yep, 1995 winger for the Panthers.
Oh, another 95 winger. We mentioned him last week.
Yes, in the try-scoring list. He's in the top 10.
Oh, Matt Singh.
The great Matt Singh.
Matt Singh.
Look at
Okay,
him there
rookie
with
card
his,
for
with
Matt
his head
Singh.
there. Rookie
The
card.
Matt Singh rookie card that we've got.
How awesome's that? And finally,
How good are these cards?
this one we will be able to get signed, Troy.
Yep. What do you got?
Off the back of the great announcement of the Perth Bears, the Western Reds.
Oh, Mark Geyer.
Great Mark Geyer in a Western Reds jumper. Now, we haven't rigged this, folks, but to have 3 Panthers essentially in the one packet is pretty awesome.
You'd be happy with that on your school.
Mark Geyer.
School lunch.
So that's a great set.
All
Great
right.
set. Over to you, Troy.
Yeah, look, I can't not open the 1992 Rugby League.
I think I know why you want to open that
cards.
one.
Now, I'm pretty sure there's a chewing gum in here. That means that is a 33-year-old piece of chewing gum.
Will you be willing to
I'm
eat
not willing
that chewing
to,
gum?
but I'll tell you what. If you're willing to eat it,
How many movie tickets do I get?
with some movie tickets. Now, we're going to do some manoeuvring here. We're going to switch microphones, Nathan, just because I need to go hands free.
Yep.
So this is the 1992 all-new Super Gloss photo cards that we're
And
opening.
how much did you buy these for? Can we tell
I
the
think
listeners
about $12 or something like that each. The ingredients are sugar, glucose, and gum base. And they printed these in Smithfield, just so you know.
Not
Ooh,
far.
there's a bit of an easy open there. All right. We've got the pack open. Might need to, yep, okay. Ooh, a little bit
the gum in
sticky.
there, the gum
yeah,
may have,
very,
you know,
very sticky. These.
Disintegrated over time.
There's
There
the
it
gum.
is, there it is.
There's the gum. Now it is stuck to the back of a Panther card, as it happens to be.
How exciting.
But it's not bad, the gum. It's still in reasonable shape. If you want to try it.
Maybe.
There it
Later.
is.
Might
Oh,
be peckish.
it's very sticky, but it's very hard these days. All right, so I've got the set here. The Regina cards from 1992, just freshly opened. We've got another a Cronulla Shark, Les Davidson, to kick us off.
Yes, big bad Les Davidson.
Les
What a
Davidson.
legend.
We go into a Bulldog in the shape of Darren Smith.
Ah,
Darren Smith, card number 140. So there you go.
I like these cards.
We've got a Western Suburbs Magpies player here in the shape of Graham Wynn. And they've gone with a shot of him injured on the sideline for his feature shot on the card. Canberra Raiders legend. You would have been going for Canberra around this time.
Yep.
None other than Jason Croker.
Absolute icon.
Former holder, I think, of the games
most
record.
games played record, yep.
So there you go. They've got a good shot of him. We've got a Western Suburbs player here, legend of the game, Andrew Farah.
I remember him.
Andrew Farah. So there he is.
Did he have a history with Penrith too,
Yeah, I
Andrew
think
Farrell?
he did go to
Yep.
Penrith, yep. Parramatta, Andrew Fitzhenry.
Can't say I know him.
There he is.
Shout out.
Looks like he was a kicker. Andrew Fitzhenry. Can't say I know him too
Had
well.
a few lean years in the early 90s.
By this point, he'd played 30 games, so there you go. And we do finish with a Panther, a 1991 grand final winning try scorer in the shape of Brad Izzard.
Hey,
there he is.
there you go.
And he has got some gum stuck to him on the back
That is
there.
a
But there you go.
Very cool set.
That's your 92 New South Wales Rugby League.
It's great that we're getting
pack.
some Panthers in these packs. Obviously,
It is
less
good,
teams
yep.
in the competition back then.
Yep. Thrilling for everyone listening too, who can't see this. But anyway, we'll post our haul somewhere. All right, now you've got Nathan. I'm handing over
Yep,
back to
all
you.
right. We'll swap likes.
And you've got what do you got there?
I've got the final set. These are the fired up Rugby League Series 2 1996 trading cards from our friends at Dynamic Marketing.
Yeah, Dynamic were the leaders in the card world.
There's 9 cards in this, and apparently there's 3 State of Origin chase levels. So there might be some special State of Origin cards.
Okay.
And there could be a MVP personally signed card in here, Troy. Imagine if there's some rare, random signed card in here that's been hidden.
The market is for rugby league
years.
Cards these days. All right, Nathan's got the packet open. 9 cards in this pack.
9 cards. Let's roll through them.
We had 7 in my 1992 set.
Okay, the first one here is a Cronulla Shark. It is Ben Samet.
Ben Samet. Any relation to Jared?
I don't know. I can't say I've heard of Ben Samet, but he played fullback for the Mighty Sharks back in 1996.
Okay.
All right, we have a West Magpies one for the next card. Damien Kennedy. So we're off to a flyer here.
Yeah, we are.
Can't say I know Damien Kennedy, but he born in 1974 and played in the back row.
Excellent.
Damien Kennedy. Oh, this one. A defunct club.
Ooh.
The South Queensland Crushers.
Oh, yeah. Only around for a couple of years.
They're only in the NRL, New South Wales Rugby League, ARL, for a few years. We got Craig Weston. He was a Crushers legend, I'm led to believe, who played on the wing, Craig Weston. We followed it up with a Newcastle Knight in Lee Jackson. Some of these cards, Troy. I must say that the names aren't as good this time round, but Lee Jackson, he played hooker for the Knights. Back in the mid-90s. Now, you would think we would have a big name here being a Canberra Raiders player, but we don't. Coming in with the next card is David Westley.
Yeah, Westo.
Yep. He was a front rower for the Raiders in the mid-90s. Not sure too much about him, but if you know him, let us know. Sydney Tigers.
Yeah, of course, they switched over to be the Sydney Tigers.
So they were Balmain Tigers forever, and then randomly they became the Sydney Tigers.
When the NRL did the whole big expansion, the same thing happened to the Bulldogs. They became the Sydney Bulldogs.
Fascinating. Well, Hudson Smith from the Sydney Tigers played the back row for them.
Excellent.
That's Hudson. Big bad Matthew Spence from the Parramatta Eels is next.
Spencey.
Are these the reserve grade packet?
Yeah, we haven't got any big names in this. I'm
yet to get a big name. From the Gold Coast, what would they be? The Chargers?
At that point, yeah. Maybe the Seagull?
No, they could be the Chargers here, judging by their outfits.
Okay.
The Gold Coast Chargers, we have Gavin Whitaker. Look at this beautiful specimen here, Gavin Whitaker. Nice blonde fella. Played the front row for the Chargers. Gavin Whitaker.
Yeah, excellent.
And then the final card. I'm so sorry to our listeners. We should have started with this one.
Yeah.
Because this is a bad pack. But the final card is a try-time card.
Oh, that's good.
Of a Sydney City Roosters player, Peter Clark.
Clarky. All right, so that's probably not the most enticing set.
No, you'd be disappointed if that was
And we didn't get any gold cards or anything like that in all 3 of our packets.
Nope.
We did get some chewing gum, though.
We did. We got a great... I love this Mark Geyer Western Reds one. I think that's awesome.
The chewing gum's actually in pretty good shape, considering it's been in there for 33 years.
Would you be willing to put a piece in and have a chew?
I'm not, because I don't think it's going to be very chewy at all. But it's not mouldy or anything like that. It's
still in good nick.
It's in very, very good nick. All right. Well, look, that was enthralling. If we get some good feedback on that,
we'll do it again.
We might do that again.
Or if you've got packs you want us to open,
if you'd like
send
us
them
to
the
open
studio.
your old packs. I want some 94 Masters. I might try and track some of them down. That was one of my favourite sets. But there you go. We'll keep these in the newsroom, and we can all do
something. Can go in the next month's raffle.
maybe. There's a bit of inside baseball there. All right, now moving on. It is time for our Panthers trivia. So Emily Chait is going to join us. She's a rugby league lover of the Penrith Panthers.
Yep.
Emily would have went to the game last Thursday night, of course, being so dedicated to the Panthers. Wouldn't have missed it. So Emily has got 10 questions, and Nathan's taking off his jacket.
Yeah,
it's very serious.
It's getting hot in here.
Very, very serious. So here's what's going to happen. So there's going to be 10 questions. Nathan is going to be asked those 10 questions. I'm going to exit into the soundproof side studio. So I can't hear what's going on. There's no secret camera or audio being recorded.
Yep.
Then the same 10 questions will get asked of me. and we'll see who comes out.
And so who's going first?
You're going first.
Okay, so would you like me to be in here when you do your answers?
Yeah, you might as well stay in here for take the added pressure.
Yep, all right.
That's fine.
And then we can...
Who knows? We might need a tiebreaker. I'd said before, I'm not confident, despite my knowledge of the Panthers. Like I just said before, Andrew Farrar played for Penrith, which he did not.
Oh, he did not. Okay.
I was thinking about Andrew Leeds in my head.
Yes, me too.
All right, so we're going to hand over to Emily. Now, how this is going to work, Emily's going to the wrong side of the desk because Emily's going to take this microphone. So I'm going to hand over. Now, Nathan will probably kind of have to take over the hosting duties because I'm heading into the soundproof booth. Here we go.
You going to wish me luck?
Oh, no.
Well,
if I can lip read.
Well, Emily, thanks for joining us. You've finally been upgraded to a studio spot.
Yes, I've been called off the bench. This is my first grade debut on the podcast.
Oh, congratulations.
I'm very excited to be here, Nathan.
Who do you have to thank?
I have you and Mr. Dodds to thank for my first grade debut today.
Excellent. So how long have you been working on these questions for us today, Emily?
I did them yesterday, and I thought, who can I just ask to get them checked over?
Yeah.
And I went to our resident Penrith Panthers guy, guru, Beardy, and he just said they were good. So I actually chucked them into ChatGPT and asked it to tell me if they were hard or easy. And it said I had created a good selection of easy, medium and hard questions for you both today.
Excellent. So how many questions do you have?
I've got 10 for you two, but I've also got 2 tiebreakers just in case.
All right. So do I have a time limit? How long I need to answer them? Are you gonna? Is it just rapid fire?
That's just gonna be up to my discretion. If you're taking too long, I'll give you a 10-second countdown.
All right.
And I'm just gonna write down your answers here in front of me, and I think we should start.
And just to keep in mind, the winner of this amazing trivia challenge does get a 6-pack of their choice. The other person has to buy it for them.
Yes, nothing for me, Nathan.
We've got some chewing gum here still left over from the cards.
Yeah, I might give that a pass.
All right, let's do it.
I'm going to start with question number 1 that I've got written down. This should be a nice, easy entry into the quiz for you. Nathan, can you tell me what year the Panthers joined the competition?
That would be 1967.
Okay. I'm just going to open up my pen. This is the worst pen in the world.
So you won't reveal now if I've gotten it correct. You just let me know at the end.
Oh, what do you think? Should I reveal now?
No, I reckon when Troy comes back in, we
All
read
right.
everyone's answers and you can tell us who's right and wrong.
Okay, next I have, in their first year in the league, where did the Panthers place on the ladder?
Oh, in 1967.
In 1967, where did they land on the ladder?
That's a real tricky one. I'm going to say they finished 10th.
10th. Okay. In what year did the Panthers make their first finals appearance, Nathan?
Ooh, what year? I know it took them many years to make the finals. I'm thinking sometime in the 80s that they finally reached the finals. It's just it was mid 80s. I'm thinking. I want to say 1985.
1985. All right. Next question. What year did the Panthers win their first premiership, and what was the final score?
That was in 1991, and the final score was 1912.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. Who was the major sponsor, aka the one that appeared on the chest of the jersey, for the 1991 grand final win?
Well, they've had a lot of sponsors over the years, Emily, but the main sponsor that I can picture in my head would be the Doddsy uniforms, the classic licorice all sorts.
Nathan's going with Doddsy uniforms. My next question is, when did Penrith first wear their pink jerseys? They're classic pink jerseys that were worn in the most recent grand final
I do remember this. Okay, so the first time they unveiled them.
Very first time.
Yep. Okay. I remember they were a musky jersey, and they were raising money for, I think it was the Glenn McGrath Foundation, or something along those lines, Breast Cancer Foundation. And I believe I wasn't working here at the paper at the time either, but I remember I think I remember creating a Facebook page for these guys, like support the Pink Panthers, and I want to say that was. It was either 2010 or 2011. Okay. It was one of those years. I'm right, aren't I?
I'm going to need one of those. I can't take 2 answers, unfortunately.
I'm going to say it was the year 2010.
2010. Okay, thank you. next, I'm going to ask you, what year and round did the great Nathan Cleary debut?
End round?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay. So Ivan got sacked at the end of 2015. So I'm thinking, I know that he was on the cusp of making his debut for a while, but Ivan never wanted to debut him. So, Gus got Anthony Griffin in, and that was his task to debut Nathan Cleary. It was either 2016 or 2017. I'm going to say Nathan Cleary debuted in 2017.
And do you have a round in mind?
It was sort of... I remember him debuting against Melbourne.
That is correct, yes.
And I want to say it was round... It was fairly early because then they shipped Jamie Soward off to England. I'm going to say round 10.
Round 10. So you're locking in 2017 round 10.
Yeah, but do I get a half a point if I just get the year correct, or...?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
Okay, in 2020, how many games did the Panthers win in a row to get the minor premiership? They went on a major win streak, but I'm asking to the minor premiership, the end of
not to the grand final.
Not to the grand final, to the end of the regular season.
I believe they won 18 in a row all up, isn't it, including 2 finals matches, because they lost the grand final, obviously. I'm going to say 16.
Okay, we're up to question number 9.
I know.
How do you feel like you're
I'm
going?
feeling stressed. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm very close to a lot of these answers, and if I do fall short, it's going to be within like a couple of numbers. That's what's stressing me out.
All right, my next question is, who are the 4 former Panthers who are inducted as the 4 inaugural members of the Panthers Hall of Fame?
Okay.
I'm going to need all 4 names.
Sure. Gray Moran, Craig Gower, Greg Alexander, and Roy Simmons.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. I'm not going to write that down. Okay, my final question to you, Nathan. Who has been the head coach for the most consecutive years? I'm not talking leaving and coming back, consecutive in a row.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's a tricky one. Obviously, Ivan Cleary was there for 4 or 5 years before he got sacked, and then we got him back again. So how long's he been there now? So he came back in 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 7 consecutive years at the moment. I know Roy Simmons had quite a long stint at Penrith too. After Gus left, Roy Simmons took over, but then he was sacked, I think, in 2001. I'm going to say it definitely wasn't Phil Gould. Phil Gould came in 1990 and lasted until about 94, I think. Matthew Elliott, he certainly wasn't there for very long either. So it's either Roy Simmons or the second stint of Ivan Cleary.
I'm going to need one answer, Nathan.
I know.
Which way are you going to go?
Oh, jeez. Roy Simmons. Yeah. Roy Simmons, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 7 years. I'm going to say technically it is probably Roy Simmons.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Okay, I'm writing it down. Okay, so while I signal to Troy he can come back.
Get him from the cone of silence.
Get him from the cone of silence.
Yep.
Nathan, can you tell me what you thought of those questions?
I thought they were difficult. I thought there was a
Really?
couple of easy ones I'm confident with, but the rest, as I said, I'm not quite sure.
Okay, so we'll hand the hosting duties back over to Troy.
All right, how we go?
Yeah, Troy, look, she's come up with some really good questions there. There was a few that I'm confident with, but a lot that I'm not.
So you don't know what you got?
I know she's written my answers down. She's going to
Okay.
get your answers, write them down, and then she's going to reveal to us the answers live.
All right.
So I'll pass the mic
How
over to
confident-
Emily.
What do you think you got?
Oh, I think I got maybe 5 correct.
Ooh, okay. Hello, Emily, Quizmaster.
Hello, Troy. You ready for your Panthers quiz?
Yes, I am. Let's have the questions. 10 questions.
10 questions, and I do have a tiebreaker if needed.
Yes.
So I'm going to start with an easy one for you. Can you tell me in what year did the Panthers join the comp?
1967.
Okay. All right, next question. In their first year in the league, where did the Panthers place on the ladder?
Ooh. Yeah, that's. I was just thinking about that actually. I thought that might be a question.
He
but
was
I
doing
don't
some
know the
Googling in
answer.
his office.
Yeah. I'm going to say Penrith finished second last.
Out of how many?
In 1967. Oh. Okay, I'm going to say Penrith finished 11th.
Okay. In what year did the Panthers make their first appearance in the finals?
1985.
You were very confident with that one, Troy.
Thank you, Emily. Yes. At least I know I've got 2 out of 3 so far.
In what year did the Panthers win their first premiership? And can you tell me the final score?
1991. Penrith 19, Canberra 12.
Very quick with that one too. Who was the major sponsor who appeared on the chest of the jersey for the 1991 grand final win?
It has to be Dada Uniforms.
Going Dada. When did Penrith first wear the pink jerseys?
Okay. The pink jerseys. Ooh.
Nathan just gave me a year, so I'll just take a year. I do have the specific round.
Okay. Yeah, look, that's an interesting one because I feel like it's actually earlier than you might think. But is it that early? I'm going to say 2011.
Okay. What year and round, I'm going to need both for this one, did Nathan Cleary debut?
What year and round did Nathan Cleary debut? So, I'm going to go with he debuted in 20... okay, hang on. Need some background music for all of this. So Nathan Cleary debuts under Anthony Griffin. So you work it out that way. So obviously it has to be 16, 17 or 18. Look, I'm going to say 2018. And I'm going to say, I know it's against the Melbourne Storm, but I don't know the round. Jamie Soward's last game as a Panther as well. I'm going to say round 15.
Round 15. Okay, thank you. In 2020, how many games did the Panthers win in a row to win the minor premiership? So the streak up until the end of the regular comp, not including finals.
How many games did they win in a row in the general premiership? Okay, that's a good one. So obviously there's 20 rounds that year. There was obviously 2 rounds already done when COVID struck, so that leaves 18 games. But there's a loss in there. There's a loss in there to the Parramatta Eels, I believe. But how many did they win? When did that game against Para happen? Ooh. I'm going to say... How many did they win to finish the regular season?
You can see the wheels turning, Troy.
I just can't place the loss. Oh, no, I'm starting to place the loss.
He's placing the loss.
I'm going to say 8.
8 winning.
8 winning games to finish the regular season.
Okay. My second last question is, who are the 4 former Panthers who were inducted as the 4 inaugural members of the Hall of Fame? I'm going to need all 4.
This should be easy, but in my head I've just forgotten one. Greg Alexander, Royce Simmons, Craig Gower, and no, this is disastrous. How have I forgotten his name?
We can come back to it after question 10 if you'd like.
Terrible. Okay, yeah, let's come back to that.
We'll circle back. My last question is, who's been the head coach of the Panthers for the most consecutive years?
Royce Simmons.
Okay. Now, do you just want to try and figure out that last Hall of Famer?
I can see it. Well, his name still might be on top of the grandstand.
I think it is.
It still hasn't been taken down. This should not be a question I get wrong. His name's right there.
Do you have a 10-second timer, Nathan?
You're the quiz master.
It's not David Appleby.
How about I start calculating?
Yeah.
He's had enough.
I've lost it. I don't know how I've lost it.
All right, we're calling time.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to pass back over to Nathan while I calculate.
Okay. Tell me the answer to that one, Nathan. That was.
It was Graham Moran, Troy.
Graham Moran, of course. How have I got that right? Yeah.
And you're such a big Hall of Fame stickler too, wanting to add more names, and we don't even remember the ones that are in it.
I got to admit, I expected there to be more archive questions. Definitely.
There were some tricky ones in there that you just think there's a few numbers that you could be either side of it. Like I was stuck between, I don't know the answers yet, but Roy Simmons and Ivan Cleary, obviously, for longest tenured coaches in the current consecutive coaches.
Who did you go with in your answer?
I also went Royce. I tried to work it out that I'd say Royce came in 95 because Gus was gone by 94, and then he was obviously let go in 2001. So that's 7 seasons. But Ivan Cleary's technically at his 7th season now.
Yes.
In charge.
Okay.
I think, right? Yeah, 2019, 20.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but Ivan hasn't finished the season yet. So,
but are we going with seasons or games? You could argue there's many more games these days in Penrith's season, both the regular season.
That's true. I wasn't sure what the Quizmasters
and the finals. So
how she's judged it, but we'll find out when she tells us.
I'm very disappointed in my Graham Moran mind blank.
Yep.
And for some reason, I was going a Jeff in my head, and that was getting me confused. So.
And he's the first one too.
He's the first one. No, he's
an OG. OG Panther.
He is. He's a well-deserved position in the Hall of Fame, and I've let him down.
But you could still take this out. So.
Right. Well, Emily's got the answer. She's done the calculations.
All right, Emily. I'll pass the mic back over.
I've just done some calculations and it seems there's been a tie. 6-all.
6-all.
So can you take us through the answers,
Yes, let's
please?
go through the answers.
6-all. So,
unsurprisingly, you both got the year the Panthers joined the comp right. That was 1967. In the first year in the league, the Panthers placed 11th, which Troy got right. Nathan said 10th.
What a win.
They made their first finals appearance in 1985. You both got that correct. In what year did the Panthers win their first premiership and what was the score? You both got that correct. That was 1991 with the score 19-12 against the Raiders. Who was the major sponsor for the 91 grand final? You both got that correct as Dada Uniforms. When did Penrith first wear the pink jerseys? You both got that wrong. It was 2009.
Oh, so I told you it was earlier than you think.
I thought it was 10.
So they wore that in a clash against Manly in round 14.
Yeah, all pink.
Yes, it was pink shirts, short socks to raise awareness for the Panthers Women in League group, which was fundraising for cancer research for Nepean Hospital.
Okay.
And they obviously then became the away jerseys. In what year and round did Nathan Cleary debut? So you were both actually wrong with this one as well. Nathan, you were closer. You said 2017. Troy said 2018. It was 2016.
Oh, wow.
Which I had to triple check because it seems earlier than it should have been. But yes, he debuted in 2016, round 13, which you both got wrong. That was a bit of a hard one. And yes, you said correctly he debuted against the Storm, which ended in a 24-6 loss. In 2020, how many games did the Panthers win in a row to get the minor premiership? The answer was 15. Troy, you said 8, and Nathan, you said 16.
Oh my God!
Again,
so that Parramatta loss was very early.
I told you I was in with a few, didn't I?
Yeah, you were very close on that one. Nathan, you got all 4 members of the Hall of Fame correct. Troy,
I can't believe that I would have won it on Graham Moran.
You would have won it on Graham Moran. And then you both got the last question right with Royce as the head coach who had served the most consecutive years. That will be taken over by Ivan very, very shortly.
Okay, so now it is a tiebreak.
It is a tiebreaker.
So what kind of tiebreaker question do you have for us, Emily?
So the 2 tiebreaker questions, I wrote 2. just in case. They both get the closest number.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty fair.
Yep.
I'm going to give you both the opportunity to answer. You can have a think, and then closest wins.
Sure.
Yep. Okay. This is a lot on the line.
Yep.
Nathan's sweating through his top. How many points has Nathan Cleary scored as a Penrith Panther? Now, this answer is as of April 2025.
April.
Because
You're not up to date.
Because that's all that's on the internet.
Oh, come
on, please.
Or I have a different one if you prefer.
No. Let's have it. I'll let Nathan go first.
Oh, thanks. Well, geez, that's a tough one because I know he's scored a lot of points. Obviously, he's like I don't like this question. April when?
2025.
Yeah, but what date in April?
Just as April.
Oh, jeez. Can we get a more up-to-date reading?
Well, yeah. Well, anyway, we're only a couple of months out, so it's okay. You know.
Oh, jeez. I feel like he... Oh. Okay, I'm going to say April, a couple of months out. I'm going to say 1,010.
1,010 points. Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. So can we try and work this out logically? So he's been in the NRL for... This is his 10th season in the NRL. So if you worked it out that he scores... What would you score in a season? So let's say you kick 5 goals a game.
He's really figuring it out.
25, so that's 50. That's, 500 points in goals. Did he hit a milestone this year of 1,000 points? Is that what happened? Back in April? So did he get that in April? So Nathan says 1,010.
Oh no, don't do this Price is Right thing.
So it's closest, no, not highest or lowest.
2011.
Closest. Yeah.
No, this isn't fair.
I'm going to say 1,006. So I've said 1,006. Nathan said 1,010.
So you both are quite far off.
Yeah.
To the number that I have, that I checked against.
Is it 1,286?
It is more than that, Troy.
Oh,
the answer is
okay.
1,601, which means Nathan is
Oh.
closer. Troy has lost.
That doesn't it always seem fair that I've won on that answer. I'll take it, but it doesn't seem fair.
So
what was the milestone that he just hit?
I don't know. That was the highest scoring Panther, was it?
Was that the milestone?
That was the milestone, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Because I was thinking along the lines of he hit 1,000 points.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, Nathan is the winner. What was your other tiebreaker question?
Yeah. So my other tiebreaker question was how many people attended the 2021 NRL Grand Final, which was, of course, the start of the 4P.
82,356.
No, I'm going to say 40 under 40,000. It was in Suncorp, so like
2021.
38,000.
38. Do you want to?
Yeah, sorry, I have to revise. I was thinking about 2022. No, yeah. So Suncorp's crowd was reduced, but Suncorp. No, I'm going to say you're close. I reckon. I reckon 39,028.
What did you say, Nathan?
I was about 38,000.
Troy would have won.
Oh.
39,322.
Oh,
there you go.
There you go.
What could have been?
Well, Nathan, you get a 6-pack of water.
I knew you would say that.
So I'm sure you'll be looking forward to that.
Yes, I like to hydrate, so that sounds good. Well, thank you, Emily, for joining us.
We appreciate that. And I cannot believe that I've lost this on the Graham Moran question.
And that's what it came down to. And I kind of think it's poetic because you always bang on every few episodes about the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And to lose it on a Hall of Fame question is Very, very clever.
It's very disappointing. Well, Emily, thank you for joining us. Thank you for putting me out of pocket about $20 or so with Nathan's choice of 6-pack. I'll wait to hear his choice.
Yep.
Very soon. Looking forward to that. You can have the gum if you want. Instead. Well, there you go. There's the trivia. You've won the trivia. What did we think of the trivia?
Yeah, I thought the questions were quite good. They were difficult in parts. Obviously, there was a few there that we just fell short of a year, like 2009 for the Pink Panthers.
Yes.
You know, the year Cleary debuted. I didn't think it was straight away once Griffin got there. He debuted.
Yeah, now you think about it, it was 2016. But I think that it's you know what? That's why I said I wasn't confident beforehand, because you can know a lot about a subject, but there's 50-something years of history there. We didn't know what era Emily was coming from either.
No,
and so you can pretty easily forget just a random fact. And there you go.
They were good questions, though.
Yes. All right, Nathan, tell us about a big night on Thursday.
For sure, Troy. Well, I'm excited to let you know about a special event happening at Great Western Kia. They're hosting the exclusive launch of the all-new Kia Tasman. This is Kia's first ever ute, built tough for Australian conditions, and they'll be unveiling 4 unique models at their state-of-the-art Kingswood showroom. It's all happening this Thursday, the 3rd of July, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m, and there'll be live music, food, drinks, and of course, the chance to get up close with the Tasman before anyone else. Now, if you're in the market for a ute or just curious to see what Kia has brought to the table, this is a night you won't want to miss. RSVPs are closing soon, so don't leave it too late. Visit greatwesternkia.com.au to secure your spot now.
Yes, and it was, just to clean up some of those trivia questions, it was becoming the greatest point-scoring Panther of all time, of course, earlier this year when he went past Ryan Girdler, who's had a record of 1,572 points.
There you go.
You got more time to work this out. You do go, that was pretty stupid to be so.
But you were on the right track there with trying to calculate how many points you get in the season. But I think I got confused with, I knew he hit a milestone. I just thought it was 1,000.
I was the same. And I thought, the milestone must have been 1,000 points, but it wasn't, of course. So anyway, these are the things that happened. You could ask me... I was ready for, Penrith's first coach, of course, Leo Trevino.
I was ready for that too.
Who replaced him as captain coach in Bob Boland. I'm ready for all these kind of questions. And Emily throws me who's the sponsor in 91, which is fine. But, as I say, these are...
You did well with the Penrith coming 11th one in their first season.
Yeah.
That was well thought out.
Anyway, it is what it is. Have you got a thought on your 6-pack choice?
Not yet, no. I'll peruse
maybe I
around.
Could scrounge together. Maybe I could find. Let me see if I can dust off a bottle of the spiced rum. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
That'd be a good.
I would accept a spiced rum in replacement. Yes.
All right, well, we've done plenty today. Final word. We've had a bit of fun today on the podcast. Obviously, I'm sure it's been enthralling listening. But because Penrith do have the bye this weekend, and we're going to carry on probably till end of October or something.
Yep.
Just roll on through.
We've got to get to episode 50. That's the big special edition.
Yes.
We might have a special guest
edition
on that edition.
We're definitely going to be rolling through until the end of October, because there's always still plenty to talk about in rugby league. We've got Origin 3 on Wednesday night. Nathan, who are you tipping in Origin 3?
Yeah, I've got to tip the Blues. I think I really like their side that Laurie Daly named the other day. It's got 5 Panthers in it, plus obviously Lindsay Smith on the extended bench. I think it's a really good lineup. I like that he didn't really change anything at all.
Yep.
And being at home at Eccles Stadium, I think it's the New South Wales Blues to win that one.
A little bit confusing, the naming of Jacob Carraz as the 18th man, because your 18th man is supposed to be someone who obviously
is versatile.
Is very versatile, and he's essentially there as a potential Brian To'o replacement.
Yeah, and that's because that's what Matt Burton was there for the first couple of games. He was meant to be that super sub that if you needed him. Yeah. But where's Carraz going to go if Nathan Cleary or Jerome Luai get hurt in the first few minutes?
Very strange sort of setup there at New South Wales. And Queensland, of course, getting desperate, bringing back Josh Papali'i from retirement. And I'm not saying he's not in great form, but... when you're doing things like that, you're starting to get a little bit desperate.
Do you think they're doing it for just that little bit of extra motivation? Like, we know he's leaving the NRL at the end of the year.
Yep.
He's going to the Super League. Just having that Alfie Langer style player that's going to he's going to give it his absolute all for that 80 minutes.
I've heard the Alfie Langer comparisons. I know even... he was asked about it, Billy Slater, during the week. But please, Alan Langer came back from England in like a middle-of-the-night operation that was somehow leaked. I think it was on the continuous call team at the time.
Yes, I remember listening.
Journos at the airport and people ringing in from airports. Like, this is, Josh Papali'i is playing in the NRL at the moment. Like, I don't know if it's Alan Langer comparison level.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're looking for that kind of ilk, that kind of anything to find some inspiration.
Didn't they? Did New South Wales do it a long time ago? Was it Freddie or Joey? One of the two came back and
okay.
And had an amazing
I'm not sure.
game
I guess
through
you
to
never.
winning the series.
I guess you announce your retirement from rep footy. I get that, but I mean, whilst you are in the NRL, you're never really out of it. You're never really out of the potential of being called up into rep footy.
Yeah.
But as we know, all the Panthers that we expect to be there are there. Brian To'o. Look, if you're only watching the game on TV, you might not have seen it. He was getting a lot of attention during that game last Thursday night. So I don't think that there's any ducks and drakes. I think he is legitimately in doubt for Origin 3.
Yeah.
We'll see if he gets through by the weekend.
Yeah, I think they'll give him every chance to play. Karazi's going to be there training with them all week, so if he has to slot in, they will. But don't be surprised if we do get a Brian To'o, some news that he won't be able to play. But fingers crossed, because it is a knee injury, but it's not too serious. So hopefully he will play for Penrith as well, in the coming weeks, and it's not too bad because Penrith certainly need him as well.
Now, also hopefully, we do better than 6 out of 10 in the next quiz, because we are hosting a Penrith Panthers podcast and writing about the Panthers every week. But
I know if she asked current year and came in and just did this current dynasty era from 21 to now, I think we would have done a lot better.
Yes. Well, a lot happens in a season.
And when you're asking specific questions like years and rounds and numbers,
seasons get quickly forgotten.
They do.
No doubt about that. We're just trying to find excuses for ourselves now. All right, that is it for Tensions Running High this week. We'll be back with another episode next Wednesday. Visit westernweekender.com.au. Follow us on all the socials and check out our print edition out every Thursday. There is an edition of Extra Time out this week, despite the fact that the Panthers are not playing. I'm Troy Dodds. Nathan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Troy.
And thanks to Penrith Toyota too for their sponsorship. Whether you are a 67er, a Brandy and Royce convert, a Gerds guy or girl, or you're on the bandwagon for the first time, maybe you're a Graham Moran fan from back in the day. We are all in this together. Let's go Panthers, and we'll see you next week.